We're going to take a live look outside of our Savannah cam. The sun is up. Storm Team 3 meteorologist Hannah Evans is here with your forecast first. Good morning, Hannah.
Good morning, Tyler. We are greeted this morning with a few clouds mixed in there as well. That is because we're watching a front beginning to move through. So our temperatures right now are actually our high temperatures for today. We're at 66 degrees in Savannah and on Hilton Head, 67 degrees in Pembroke and Richmond Hill. Once again, these are our high temperatures today. This front is pushing through the region. That's why we're seeing some extra cloud cover this morning. And as it does move through, temperatures will drop and winds will pick up today. We're already seeing gusts up to 29 miles per hour in Savannah and on Hilton Head, 27 miles per hour gusts in Metter. And this will continue throughout our day today, where we are tracking those temperatures to drop to the mid 60s by this afternoon. And then tonight we will see those 40s for the overnight low. Our gusts today will range anywhere from 30 miles per hour to even possibly 40 miles per hour. That's going to be along the coast. And just because of how breezy it is, we do have a red flag warning in effect for today, likely to be issued tomorrow as well, that we are watching. After a cool weekend, we'll warm back up to the 80s for the middle of the week, which I will talk a little bit more about this warm up and that red flag warning in just a few minutes. Tyler.
Thanks, Hannah. We're starting this morning with the director of Liberty County Animal Service, who's taking responsibility after his department came under scrutiny from the state after using a crossbow while trying to capture dogs last October. WSAV's Nakaya Harris has the story.
The state says the Liberty County Animal Control used a crossbow during a capture attempt. Now the facility is facing penalties and pressure to explain what happened.
The Georgia Department of Agriculture says officers were trying to capture 5 dogs when several became aggressive near a residential neighborhood. Documents show one dog was captured with a snare, but the remaining dogs continue acting aggressively, prompting the officer to contact Director Steve Marrero for guidance. The consent order states Marrero instructed the officer to use a crossbow to prevent the dogs from moving further into the neighborhood.
This is the first time we've ever encountered 5 that were aggressive.
Now, according to the state's findings, 3 dogs were struck with a crossbow, 2 were killed, while a 3rd ran into the woods. A 5th dog was later captured. Documents state the 2 captured dogs were euthanized.
Because it was in the morning time, thinking kids, thinking bus.
Marrero says this was the first time his agency used a crossbow and admits the decision was his.
Firearms it's a city ordinance violation. You know, we would be fined. If that same situation arises again, what are you left with?
The state resolved the matter through a consent order without making a final determination on the allegations. As part of that agreement, the county must pay a $5,000 civil penalty, with $2,500 going to the Department of Agriculture and another $2,500 required for additional officer training.
Safety of the citizens has to be my number 1 priority. I would have been in a different situation if those dogs we would have done nothing, and those dogs would have went into a neighborhood and attacked a kid or mauled a kid or killed a person.
And this investigation could shape how dangerous animal calls are handled across the county moving forward. Reporting in Liberty County, Nakaya Harris, WSAV News 3, on your side.
An investigation is underway after a bank robbery in Savannah happened yesterday afternoon. The details are scarce, but the Savannah Police Department confirmed that they are working with the FBI in the investigation. It happened Friday afternoon at the Wells Fargo Bank in the 14,000 block of Abercorn Street. We are working to learn more information and will, of course, keep you updated on air and online as we do. Making headlines overnight, the U.S. House rejected a Senate bill and passed their own plan to fund the Department of Homeland Security. That includes ICE. The measure returns to the Senate for approval, but senators left Washington Friday after their own late-night vote on a different plan. Democrats have already called it dead on arrival in the Senate.
Republicans have chosen to double and triple down on their extremism, on their brutality, and on their violence.
House Speaker Mike Johnson is demanding the Senate return to Washington to pass the short-term option. The vote in the House came hours after President Donald Trump signed an order directing DHS to pay TSA workers who haven't received paychecks despite working during the funding lapse. TSA agents have missed 2 paychecks already, and hundreds have quit, and that's led to long airport lines around the country. The department says agents will start getting paid again as early as Monday. Well, the price of gas is on the rise due to the war against Iran, and we are all feeling it at the pump. Economists say the price will only continue to rise as the conflict continues. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz has impacted the distribution and availability of crude oil globally by 20%. That means it could be years before prices fall back to where they were just last month, and that leaves drivers with a choice: hybrid, electric, or gas. All of those engine options that drivers should take into account when purchasing a new vehicle. Gas prices have risen by 60 to 70 cents in just the last month, and that's even after the suspension of the gasoline tax here in Georgia, which saves us around a third of the increase. The suspension is costing the state around $360 million for the 2 months it's in place, and that's something that economists say isn't sustainable.
We're probably looking at gas prices in a year or two that are about 20% higher than they were at the end of February. Okay. So figure 40 cents a gallon higher than February, and that's after all of this settles out as much as possible, right? Some of the damage from the war has been substantial and will have an effect on markets for multiple years.
McGrath also mentioned the Trump administration's stance on renewable energy by saying that the administration is pushing a negative narrative, and the lack of electric vehicle incentives also pushes the customer response down.